Why have they been burning all of the old world books in the last 200 years? Why have they been removing books so that we can no longer see what was once written? Who is destroying ancient books today? Who's buying millions of books? Text, scanning them into the AI systems, and then destroying the physical copies. And how long has this been going on? Let's take this research even further. We read that around 20 to 30 major libraries have been completely destroyed or suffered devastating fires within the last 200 years. Now, if we include university libraries, national libraries, and major public libraries, losing a substantial portion of their collections, that number rises to over 50. These are not your local libraries that have copies of Winnie the Pooh. These were libraries that held one-of-one copies of old world texts, information that we're never going to see again. Knowing what we know, these fires were also set to remove old world information about the things that were once here. The stories that did not fit into this new timeline, this new story about human history, this false history that we're all currently living in. August 24th, 1814, we're told that the Library of Congress, located in Washington, D.C., was under attack by British forces. They set fire to the U.S. Capitol, and this is where the library was housed. We're told that this fire destroyed approximately 3,000 books and effectively wiped out the entire nation's congressional library, where in 1815, 1 year later, they put the books that they wanted into this new library. Thomas Jefferson's personal library became the foundation of the modern Library of Congress. And this is when you have to ask the question, what was the foundation of the Library of Congress before 1815? Before they burned it all down on purpose? What do you think were in those 3,000 books? And let's all just be honest. We all know that it was more than 3,000 books. Our history is a complete lie at every single turn. Even all of the books were all destroyed and all replaced within the last 200 years, where we see that not every book from the 3,000 books were documented. And the incredible historians that we have all been trained to believe, these historians cannot produce a complete list of the books that were lost. They can only tell us about the categories of books that were lost. Early U.S. records, classical Greek and Roman texts, books written by Homer, European history, geography, maps showing Grand Tartaria, without a doubt, Old World astronomy, mathematics, Old World history, and medicine. And we all know these books showed what the Old World had. They told a story about their technology, and most likely showing that the entire world already had phones. They already had AI and the rest. The historians tell us that nearly the entire collection of books were completely destroyed in 1814. And this is unbelievable. At this point, how can the mainstream history ever be trusted again? And this is only one library. I'm going to show you that this was going on all over the world, all at the exact same time, all within the last 200 years. It's been a complete worldwide attack on what the people were going to be told, changing human history, removing all of the old world texts, moving over to the Birmingham Central Library, located in Birmingham, England. Now, the building alone is incredible, and we can cover this building in an upcoming episode. It's an incredible palace that was, of course, replaced with a box, just like we've seen in episode 189. They even have boxes underneath the roof. This thing is just a bunch of boxes. It's exactly what we all need in our life. A bunch of boxes. No. January 11th, 1879, a fire breaks out in the Old World Palace Library. The blaze destroyed approximately 50,000 volumes, including historical records, rare books, newspapers, and reference collections, where we are told numerous unique materials, this meaning books that are not in other libraries or anywhere else in the world, one-of-one copies. These books were, of course, lost forever. And these books are not coming back. This fire narrative has been going on for the last 200 years. And we all know that it's still going on today, all over the world. They are still burning these old world buildings down. And they never know who did it or how it started. We've seen where they blame it on a faulty wire, which I have to say, I am so thankful that we do have the faulty wiring department now. These people are great. We can all send them an email at faultywiringdepartment@gmail.com. It is a great group, and they keep an eye on our palaces. This fire that destroyed over 50,000 old world books was, of course, accidental, supposedly. Not only this, but this fire occurred even back in the 1800s. It's the same exact story that we read today, occurring while the building was undergoing a renovation and being enlarged. The construction work itself is the accepted explanation of how the fire began and burned down the 50,000 books, burning down all of the old world texts. And this is just the beginning. We are supposed to believe that the population of people was basically nobody, nothing. Yet a population of nobody had so much knowledge to write thousands and thousands of books and put them into these incredible over-the-top palaces. Books on mathematics, incredibly detailed maps, real science, and real medicine. Who was writing all of these 50,000 books in Birmingham in the 1800s? Who was writing all of these 50,000 books? Because in Birmingham, in the 1800s, we see the official narrative. They tell us that the population of this area is just spiking, going from basically nobody in 1801 to having hundreds of thousands of people. Who's writing 50,000 texts that are so valuable to society that they were put into these palaces? Was everybody in the 1800s just brilliant? Were these people just so bored from sleeping in the hay that mathematics were just coming to them with ease? Absolutely not. No, this story is ridiculous. There was a previous civilization here. It's very obvious at this point. And they had incredible technology, proper training, and the rest. And this group of people that were advanced, I believe, were completely removed from the history books that we're all shown today. This goes so much deeper. We are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 190 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. This is a paid advertisement for Rumble Wallet. They're sponsoring this portion of the show. If you want to get my attention, there's now a clear line to it. Here's how it works. I'm prioritizing rants sent through Rumble Wallet. If you send one, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to respond. Simple as that. For a limited time, you can start your wallet with $20 in US stablecoin for tipping Rumble creators like me by entering my exclusive promo code MLB20 when you sign up right now. Questions, hot takes, stuff you really want me to react to. Don't bury it in the chat, put it in a rant. Because let's be honest, regular chats fly by, but when you use Rumble Wallet, it cuts through everything. So here's the move. Scan the QR code or use the link in my description. Download Rumble Wallet and try it yourself. And don't forget to use the code MLB20 and claim your $20 for tipping in USAT. Sending a tip is easy. Open up the chat like you're sending a Rumble rant and just hit pay with Rumble Wallet. This is basically a VIP line. You want a shout out? You want your thoughts to actually stand out and me to see what you're saying? Use Rumble Wallet and claim $20 in USAT with my code MLB20. Then send a rant. I'm going to be watching for them. Restrictions apply. There's a limited number of entries available. Terms and conditions apply. See the description below or visit rumble.com/promo-official-rules for details. All of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, Chuck Templeton, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Forbidden Gecko Love, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Jason Hochberg, Marie C., Michael Dingu, Patriot Armory, SoniaDane.com, James Alt Miggs, Mark Chapman, Ariana Oates, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig John, Seth Craigo, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Dax Bill Check and Son, Robert Petro, Cats Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Doc Halo, Brenna Fernandez, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Sweetest of Peas, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Laurel L. Burnett, Vince Moreno, Flat Earth Herb, Digital Strategy, Harvey, Bradford's Donkey Wagon Deluxe, Ernieho, Just Like That, DevlinMcGregor.com, D. Woods, Sherry Frost, F.E. Patriot, First Class Forklift, Wilson Family, D.C. Morelli, Kent Baki, The Crypto Schizo, Helena Funk, Lynn Thielen, Sally, Alpha Auto, Ty, Rebecca Klung, M. Skin, ValleyMedicinals.com, Bill, David Torres, Breaking Bigfoot, Zymo, Once Upon a Time in Tartaria, Beacon of Truth, Peacekeeping Task Force, Seek, D. Hamur, L. Solnox, Ginity, Corbin Mechanical, Timothy Lehman, Lucy, Tibba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Leuven, Belgium, August 1914. This is just over 100 years ago. This is not thousands of years ago. Yet again, troops, military, burned down the old world books. They burned down 1,000 buildings in Belgium, including setting fire to the university library, destroying over 230,000 books, 950 manuscripts, and 800 books that we are told were written before 1500. Old world texts, all gone on purpose. These were planned attacks on the books, planned attacks on what the people, the public, what we were all allowed to know going forward. 230,000 books. What do you think was lost in this collection? Do we all think it was just a bunch of cookbooks? A bunch of books on how to clean your outhouse? Or do you think that these books held knowledge? You tell me. Were they supposedly built a new building? And in 1940, this is only 86 years ago, the rebuilt building just caught on fire during an artillery battle, with the rest of the books that were in the old building that were transferred over to the new one. 900,000 books being burned forever. We are now showing right here on this channel, documented, that over 1 million old world books have been deleted from our timeline on purpose, all before they gave us the internet back, so that we were not able to share these books with each other, or get them onto a hard drive, or put them into a cloud. This could not be more in our faces, that our history is a complete lie. And based on the mainstream history, it's looking like the governments around the world attacked all these books, all of these libraries, and removed all of the knowledge all over the world, all within the last 200 years, completely resetting us. And we all know what happened to the adults, sending them to the insane asylums if they remembered a book from these libraries, and sending their kids off to an orphan train. Again, all of this is in my opinion, and you're always free to think whatever you'd like. This is all information that we can all go research for ourselves. Now that being said, we are at 3 libraries that have all lit on fire and documented to have burned over 1,183,000 books, old world texts that we all know would have changed the history that we're all told today. And this is only 3 libraries: the USA, England, and Belgium. So let's keep going. We've located a list of even more libraries that have all burned down to the ground. The New York State Library, burning over 450,000 books in 1911. The National Library of Peru, 1943. This one burned another 100,000 books. The Los Angeles Central Library, 1986. 400,000 more books gone forever. The Library of the USSR, Academy of Sciences, 1988. Approximately 250,000 more books burned. Norwich Central Library, 1994. 100,000 more books gone. And this all jumping our total. Old world texts, old world books that are now gone forever to 2,483,000. And these are the numbers that are documented. We all know that it's way more than this. Remember, we covered Iraq, the Iraq National Library, in 2003. Yet again, another mission to destroy the old world information. April 2003, the Iraq National Library and archives in Baghdad was supposedly looted and set on fire, with 104,000 books destroyed or looted. I personally believe that these millions of books, we all know that it wasn't all incredible information. I'm sure some of it was a bunch of nonsense. I'm sure there were some fiction books about Winston and Brent and how they were going on fishing trips in the 1800s. I'm sure there were some stories about some ridiculous things. But I also believe that these books that were held in these incredible old world structures, I am sure that they were attacking a lot of texts that had information, technology, data that would completely go against this new history. This Christopher Columbus nonsense, where they took this ship across the sea and figured out that this land was here, that did not happen. They knew this land was here, and I guarantee it. I would bet that the real blueprints to these buildings that we've been researching all along, I would bet that the original blueprints, the load-bearing calculations, all of it, I would bet that they were in these libraries. And they would show us the real architect's name. It wouldn't be the people that we're told today. The people that we read are pinned to these stories. And I would bet that these stories, without a doubt, that have been burned forever, I bet you they would tell stories about cell phones. I bet you they would tell stories about AI, computers, internet, TVs, and technology that we haven't even seen yet, or technology that we'll never see again. And don't think for a second that these individuals that attacked these libraries and ultimately burned all these books on purpose, don't think for a second that they didn't scan these books before lighting the entire palace on fire. My guess, after everything that we know, is that they recorded all of these books, and I believe that they still have them digitally. And I believe that they're in a data center. And I believe that they've had data centers much longer than we're told. I believe that they've had them underground, even going back into the 1800s. I believe all of this technology is being given back to us. All of this technology is being released back to the public. We know how this works now. They pin these characters to these companies. They are all funded by the taxpayer. And we also know that they hid Donkeys Incorporated from us for too long. The incredible group of people, these people, they were the cornerstones of society. They were hauling a stone here and a stone there. These people, they constructed the Milan Cathedral. They didn't need a blueprint, and they did not need any training. We appreciate all of your hard work. I'm not even sure if they had a saddle. So thank you for everything. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. We're closing in on 350,000 subscribers on YouTube now. It's incredible. I appreciate you all. Over 300,000 on TikTok. We're also on Rumble, X, Instagram, BitChute, eBay, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. Every time one of these libraries burned down within the last 200 years, millions of ideas were completely erased forever. When people write a book, we know sometimes it's their entire life's work put into 300 pages. All of this is erased. And the historians cannot even tell us the names of these books that were all destroyed. They don't even know what burned down. Yet they have been trying to force feed us this fabricated story about human history. Imagine all of the information that was deleted. We have nothing copied. We don't even know the names of these books. None of it is on the internet. Nothing was uploaded into this cloud that we have today when all of these books burned. That was it. When they burned all of these libraries, all of these books, that was it for them. All of this information is now gone, and it's not coming back to the public's eye ever again. Nobody's ever going to be able to pick that information back up and study it and expand on that information. I believe that the most valuable books that humans have ever written, I believe that those books have already been burned. And our classrooms never taught us about this. They never mentioned in school that the militaries around the world were going to these buildings and burning them all down, burning these books forever. And all of this happening within the last 200 years. Now, we've all heard about the Library of Alexandria. We've all heard about this one, where the Egyptian library collected over 700,000 scrolls, supposedly around 2,000 years ago. Again, all of this is interesting. I personally don't believe that it was over 2,000 years ago. I do believe this library was here, and I believe that it was here much closer to our timeline than what we're being told. This library supposedly burned down and is regarded as one of the greatest collections of ancient knowledge, being lost forever. Now again, I don't believe this happened thousands of years ago. I believe that it happened right before we all got here, and I would bet that they have all of the knowledge somewhere. And I also wanted to show you today that this sort of thing has happened so many more times than just the Library of Alexandria. And it's happened so many times in just the last 200 years. Millions of books that have been documented today, right here on this channel. Over 2.4 million books. That's hard to even visualize. Imagine how many books that is. How many pages of information was completely taken from us on purpose. Imagine what kind of information they did not want us to see today. Because of course, we all know that that's exactly why they did it. Because they did not want you and me reading this information right now. It's exactly why they burned all those books. They did not want all of us to read about the old world. They wanted to change our history forever. And guess what? They did.